Hi, and welcome to the sketchbook tour. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Lee. I'm an artist and I'm currently building up a body of work because after all of the years of drawing almost every day, I have nothing to show for myself because I've been just doing doodles and sketches and studies and not actual finished works, but that's not what this video is about. This is about the sketchbook. The lighting today is a bit wonky and it's a very overcast day, but this entire sketchbook is kind of a metaphor for an overcast day because I've gone through a lot with this. It took me less than a year to finish it actually, which is very unusual for me, but I really don't like whatever is in there. There are some pages that I really like and cherish, but then most of it is kind of confusing, and maybe this video is going to be a way for me to figure out what went wrong and why, and how to avoid that in the next sketchbook. Anyway, to start the tour, the cover has a bunch of stickers which come from a Russian sticker shop that actually hires artists to draw limited sticker collections for them. So I don't remember each artist's name, but I'll put them on the screen. On the spine here, I have a cute little thing for me. So I started it in March 2024, and I was ambitious enough to write 2024 at the end of it because I was convinced that I would finish it in 2024 as well. I'm kind of a month short. I finished it this January of 2025. So I wasn't completely off, but life took some turns that were very unexpected, and there was a couple months that I just did not draw at all. But to start off, the opening spread, I thought there would be much more stuff, but apparently my life isn't as exciting as I expected it to be. These post-it notes are from an artist whose name I don't remember, but I'll put them on the screen. I really like these. I used them throughout Halloween and I had a very good time. The idea dump is embarrassing because I don't think any of these ideas came to fruition. I did a page of goals for the sketchbook, and if you can see, these things are like glued on top of the page because I messed everything up and I had to cover it up with like more paper, which was an omen for the sketchbook, I guess. Do observational drawings from life, draw original characters in action, interacting, practice expressions, ideate thumbnail and study for future artwork / illustrations, try out different materials. We'll see throughout the sketchbook if any of these were completed or not. I actually haven't reviewed this yet, so I kind of know what the answers are, but I'm also not sure because it's so many pages. It's like an entire year worth of sketching, and I don't know. We'll see. This spread is just printouts of artworks that I really like and artists that inspired me at the time and still do, and like the kind of the style I want to go for. I don't know if this represents my vision for my style anymore, but I still really like these. The first page, I actually really enjoyed working on the first spread. Like when I started the sketchbook, I was so excited and I was so confident in that the sketchbook is going to be different and is going to be very like pivotal and everything, but it didn't it did not turn out this way. But the first spread I still really like. I did some Hannibal studies. This one I was referencing just like a generic face picture, like somebody's portrait, but I was putting Hannibal's features on it, I'm pretty sure. And then this one I just did from imagination, and at the time I was like, wow, that's crazy how I managed to do this. I was very proud of myself. These are from life, so I was really on track with my resolutions to do more drawings from real life, and unfortunately a mug and my hands are one hand because I can't draw with my left hand, but these are like the only things that normally surround me while I'm drawing in my sketchbook, so there isn't much more observational stuff that isn't like a mug and a hand. I actually really missed that mug. I really liked it, but I left it at home when I moved. Timothée Chalamet, I think I captured the likeness, like I still remember that it's him, so that's a win. This is controversial for me because this side of the page is depressing, whereas this one I really like. This is my OC. Does he have a name? I think people on Discord suggested Vincent, and I think I might go with that. He doesn't have much of a backstory or anything about him, really. I really like these. Like, this was such a strong start for the sketchbook, and I was really enjoying it. And then here I had a crisis because I was trying to draw this, like, kind of confusing angle of the head from reference. And throughout the sketchbook, I go into multiple crises of not being able to draw the head. I'll just move on. The crisis continued. Here was more like random heads. These aren't even that bad. I just think I was in a very weird state. I think my brain was fooling me into thinking that they're all very bad. This was from imagination, I remember, and it kind of lifted my spirits. But this page I will probably blur because it's a lot of like personal stuff that I am not over with. But this bit is two of my main OCs that I think about 24/7, Atlas and Ethan. Their designs are nowhere near final. I was just thinking things through and I drew that, and then I went to drink wine with my sister and watch a stupid movie. More crisis scenarios. This is me. I still really like this. It took me like an hour to figure out what I even look like. These are, I don't know. There are probably a lot of artists who are watching me. Do you ever get into the state when you are trying to draw something and it's not turning out, and you get into this like rage, frustration-induced rage, and you know you have to stop and just put the sketchbook down and like go to bed, watch a movie, switch off, whatever, but you can't, and you just keep drawing things and you know nothing will turn out because you're just not in a good enough headspace for this. Like, all of your lines are too rough and rugged, and it's not gonna work when you're frustrated and raging like this. But you still keep doing it, and you hate yourself more and more with every single drawing. This was what was happening, and I think the year in the sketchbook was really like working through my frustration and trying to get more like realistic about my drawings and trying to see them from a different angle. There is going to be a lot of up and downs on the exposure for this video, for which I apologize. I'm trying to do my best. Bear with me, please. Anyway, this sketchbook was really a journey of working through frustration with myself and also learning to draw heads, because sometimes they turned out pretty good and and sometimes they just didn't. And for the longest time I had this issue of when I would go in and like draw a head from my imagination, it would have all of the same mistakes as it normally does, and it was very frustrating because I couldn't understand what I was doing wrong. These are some studies of fat, chubbier people, because I was working on a character design that was a bit bigger. Never finished it, but it was fun learning about how it all works. This is studies from the Morpho books. They're very good. Here's like a concept for the character. Here I was getting back into gesture drawing, and Tim Beulah was at Proco. I think they just released like a video with him, and I hopped on it and I did some studies along, or maybe I found an older video. My hands, more figure studies. At the time I was very proud of these, but now I can see how bad they are. I think anatomically and proportionally they're fine. I really hate the line quality and very like indecisive shadows. I remember when I was drawing these, it was like a nice sunny morning in my bedroom and I was having a good time. This one, I was trying to draw from the imagination, I think, and I thought up a concept for like a painting that I never really acted on, and I don't think I even expected myself to act on it, but it was an interesting experience to catch something from imagination that is a bit erotic, I guess. This is again trying to draw the head and getting frustrated with myself because I'm not even using references when I was trying to draw my OC. These I really like. These two are together, and there's two more when they came from. This guy's design, I actually have like an illustration that I need to finish of him that is very solid and that I'd like to use as a reference sheet. Here I was studying. This is from Michael Hampton's book, a very good book. I refer to it a lot when I'm struggling, and it helps pretty much every time. These are two sketches of my other OC from a different universe. This is Atlas. I was trying to figure out how to draw kissing people. I still don't know. Don't make me draw kissing people, even though I really want to. I like this little sketch though. Like, I think they're cute. These are stamps from a coin my friend gave me that I cherish and love and carry with me everywhere. But the way I did it is I put the coin underneath the paper and then did like with the pencil, and I think I really like these things, like mementos. It was my birthday, right. This was a dinner with my family for my birthday, so we had some wine. This one is a study with a bit of added elements because it is my OC that comes from the same place as this guy does. I actually really like this drawing. This one could have been so good, but the hand is way too small. Kissing people. I think this one turned out actually pretty good. Like, there is some emotions, there is some gesture, they're actually kind of like it's anatomically maybe doesn't pose much questions about what's happening. This is Vessel from Sleep Token, the band, and this is 3. I think they were touring at the time, so that's why I was drawing them and hyperfixating. Figuring out some stuff for my OC right here, Simple Studies, Astarion, that I'm struggling to figure out his features. Every time I draw him, I'm like, wow, trouble. I have nothing to say for myself. This is the main character from the game Sally's Face. I've never played the game, but I watched a Let's Play of it like 50 times, and that time I was watching it, I decided to draw it. Fine, they're fine sketches. Figuring out my OC again. I thought I drew my OCs way less in the sketchbook, but maybe I was wrong. But also, I think that maybe the amount of them kind of recedes as I lose steam throughout this book. This thing, I hate. This and this, they're the same person, except I just can't. I need a reference sheet to keep the likeness together, I guess, throughout the pages. A study I really like, another study, another sleep talk and brain rot. I need to pick up the pace, otherwise we'll be here for hours, because it's already been 20 minutes. All the exact same OC. This was referenced from a comic that is called Plague Doctor, and it's a Russian comic. I'm pretty sure it's one of the most popular on Pinterest, but I was just referencing one of the frames, so just used it for my OC to figure out the side profile, basically. This is where I decided that getting a job would be a good idea, and so I was preparing for my interview. That was April 25th, and so afterwards I did get a job, and then the next time I came back to my sketchbook it was May 7th, and then the next time after that was May 31st. Having a job really I need to talk to my therapist about this whole thing. However, JoJo sketches. I won't comment on this. This is bits from my room. I really like this. When I saw this year while I was going through my sketchbook, a couple months after I moved to the US, and I saw this and I remembered my bedroom and how comfortable and safe it was and how lovely it was, and I cried. I cried at this because for some reason I managed to capture the elements and the mood so well. I can tell what weather it was at the moment I was drawing this, and it kind of has this Life is Strange vibe to me. So this is precious, actually. So the entirety of May I kind of didn't draw. I drew 3 days out of 31 in May in my sketchbook, and then June 1st was whatever, and then that was June 10th, and then July 15th. So a month later I was trying to remember how to draw, because I think May and the beginning of June I was still drawing digitally on my iPad, but then I just I moved in July, in the beginning of July, so I didn't have it in me to draw. But here I was trying to get back into drawing and drawing some cubes and stuff. And this is my partner's fountain pen, which it's so smooth. It glides on the page silky smooth. It was fun. And we were watching Avatar, so I was trying to figure out how to draw faces again. And spiraling a little bit. These were sketches and concepts for a prop design portfolio piece that I thought I was gonna do, but in the end I turned it into a sticker project and I never finished it. I really like that bowl though, and this one. This one is so cute. I would really like to have it as just a very small sticker on transparent paper. What is it? It's not even paper, I don't think. You know, these very small, cute kawaii stickers. I would really like that to be that. I will use that. Maybe I should think of a small sticker pack with doodles. I was using the Lamy Safari, which feels too thick for me now, but for doodles like this it really works. The thickness of it is really, really good. Some drawings of our friend's cats. I really like this one. It's a proper portrait, but these the head should be so much smaller, but I was slowly coming back to life back then. So here I was working on the aforementioned stickers, and these are just brainstorm sketches. I was really on top of my game. I was sketching props back then. Well, I am bad at sketching props and objects in general, but I was really having a good time in my sketchbook. And the stuff continues here. I don't really have much to say about it, but I love this candy apple design. Some more of the head crisis. I will not be commenting on it. The waffle is good though. Here I was figuring out a cupcake design. This thing was like completely flattening your object and designing it this way is so helpful, because you can draw it over so many times and you don't need to mess with perspective or anything. You don't need to figure this out because you're like ideating and you want to be quick and efficient with what you're doing. So instead of drawing a whole like cupcake in 3D every single time, you get space and time to just design it flat. And then you can make it into 3D, and it's so much easier because the rules of like proportions and shape design still very much apply to this, even more than they do for the like 3D version of it. 10 out of 10, I recommend. Whoever's like designing stickers or props or whatever, do it flat first. Here was like the finished concept. I did not include the cherry at the end because it was confusing me. I didn't know if it was really needed there, and it really wasn't needed. Here I started the 100 heads challenge for like 10th time in my life. These were horrible. Yeah, but I thought, well, I can't draw heads from imagination because I'm struggling with placing features. So maybe I should just draw from reference and get my visual library together before I can do that. This one is nice, but these two I really don't like. This page is probably my favorite in the sketchbook. I had such a good couple days with these. I love how this one turned out. There's not much likeness, but I love it. This one is fine. This one is like one of my favorite drawings of all time. I love it. Again, not much likeness, but a lot of the times likeness isn't like my priority because I'm not interested in doing portraiture work, basically. I'm interested in drawing characters. And when it comes to drawing a big, like very realistic portrait, it's not exactly what I want my artwork to be, like my personal original art. I know that my art is going to be much more simplified, so I can work on likeness and features there in that regard, as opposed to here, because these studies are focused more on anatomical correctness and like proportions and perspective. And this one I did in like 5 minutes, and I was like, what the hell? What did I just do? Because it's a pretty difficult angle, but I was really having a good time with these. This is my partner sleeping, taking a nap. This is a YouTuber I watch. I don't know if there's much likeness, but I felt like sketching and I was watching her video. Here, I was trying to figure out how to draw Geralt from The Witcher 3, from the game, not the series, because his likeness is so difficult to capture for no reason at all. This eye right here, I think is very good. I think it really reads like Geralt's eye, but then I can't like put it into context. This is Geralt from the series. I think this was a screenshot from the series, the Netflix series, and there isn't much likeness to either of them. Whatever. I glued some pages together in here because they annoyed the living hell out of me. Oh no, these aren't actually, but these. You can't see because it's overexposed. I like this one. I think it's nice. This one has some likeness. This one I'm still planning to turn into a proper illustration. I really like this. Don't look at this. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I do really like this one, however. I think this one actually captures his likeness from the game. Maybe it was like a smaller face, like a bit. But overall, like this is... yeah. And afterwards, I never actually drew Geralt again. This was a sketch for a piece that I actually ended up doing, but I'm thinking of recoloring it because I didn't like the colors at the time and I don't like them right now, and I think I found a color palette that will work much better, but I had such a good time working on this. My OC that we've seen in the beginning of the sketchbook multiple times. Where is he? This dude. His name is Ethan, by the way. It's Nathan, but everybody calls him Ethan. I hate these. I don't know what else to say. Some more studies, nothing much. This is a study from an artwork by an artist called Colombo, and I think their username in Instagram is @thisUserIsAlive. This is theirs as well. I'm struggling with faces again. This one is a study. I was planning for an illustration for Inktober, and this was what the idea that I went with. I mean, it expanded, but I never actually finished a single illustration for Inktober itself because I thought I would like make an illustration for day one in a week, and then I just never got around to it. I got sidetracked. These are very fun sketches. I was having so much fun in my sketchbook. I made up this like frog character that wears a cape with like a bow, and he's like a magician or something. And I was thinking about his like different designs proportion wise and style wise. The sketch is like one of my favorite things as well. I am definitely gonna turn it into like a very colorful painting with a blue sky and the green frog and the reddish cape. I am so ready for that. And then I turned a pier into a creature. I don't know, I was just having a good time. Some more stuff for that sticker project that I need to finish. I just got stuck on the like coloring stage and rendering stage, and it was just, I don't know, it's weird. This is overworked and I should have paid more attention to proportions before I went into shading, but I don't know. These are also one of my favorite things in the world. These are Anxiety from the, Inside Out movie, and just trying to draw anxiety from memory. Here I was trying out a new pencil that I got, my trusty Tombow monograph. I love it. I use it to this day. It's the best. I was also trying to figure out how to shade a ball. Problem. Here I drew a little vampire kid character from my imagination, and I was like, wow, that's cool, let's make more drawings of him. And it just didn't go well. These are from life. These are the picture plants that my partner has, the little burb that sits on my desk. Oh, here I was thinking about like a video series where I will just record myself like studying whatever, like figure portraits, whatever, and it will be like a study with me, but it will be conceptually more like realistic studies, so that there is like way less pressure. When you watch a lot of artists on YouTube, you're like, oh, they're so good and I'm so bad, and it's like frustrating and discouraging. And I thought, well, my studies aren't ever that good, so maybe I could make videos of just doing trashy studies with no expectations whatsoever, and then people could join me and I would have pictures up on the screen to like study together at the same time basically, but through a video. Oh, and here by the way was a pivotal moment. Because I figured out the way that makes sense for me to draw the head. So like draw a circle not a circle, a sphere. Draw a sphere first, then add the like brow line and the line that leads from the brow to the ear, and then add the jaw construction and figure out the proportions, where the nose is, where the hairline is. And I actually draw like this to this day, and it's been very pivotal for me because that really makes sense. Here I thought an A4 sketchbook would be a good fit for me, and I was like, well, the only way to find out is to turn this A5 sketchbook sideways and see if it works, and it did. This is a portrait of an artist I really like, and this is just a regular study from a picture, and I added a bit of like watercolor shading because I was feeling fancy. This was a prompt for the Shay's of Sketches of Shay sketchbook club. It was a prompt potion and nostalgia. I mean, it was two prompts, but I combined them into one because I remembered how me and my friend from the kindergarten, whenever we would hang out together at their place, we will go to the bathroom and plug the sink and start pouring water in it and like adding all kinds of soaps and creams and whatever, and it will be like a potion, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I was very nostalgic while drawing this, and it's like this artwork captures the feeling so well, and I love it so much. Like, it's not perfect, but I really like it a lot. Some cylinders and whatever. Whenever I start a sketchbook page and I don't know what to draw, I start with cylinders and 3D forms and such. But here I think I was testing out like different pencil leads. A study from a Pinterest image that I really like. My OC. This is Vincent. I haven't seen him in a while. This one and this one, they're the same person. I really like how this turned out. I spent like 2 hours drawing and redrawing, and in the end I was very unsatisfied with it, but now that I'm looking at it, I really love it. Like, overall, the quality of the drawing, as well as just getting his character and getting his features, and the hair is so nice and flowy, and I really like that. Some studies in pen from images. I do a lot of like figure studies as well when I don't know what is happening. I try to do them more often on my iPad because I kind of struggle with drawing figures digitally for no reason. But they do show up in my sketchbook when I just want to get some drawing done for the day and not think about it anymore. Oh, We had a leak in our apartment, which was pretty stressful, but the damages weren't that bad. However, we had to have industrial fans installed for exactly a week, and they were working 24/7, and the sound is like having 5 very powerful vacuum cleaners turned on in your apartment. So you can't hear each other, you can't sleep without like earplugs and such, and I was not taking it well because I'm neurodivergent and I'm very sensitive to sound. And I was coping, and I drew this dog, and I was like, wait, I've never drawn furries. And that was the beginning of my journey. So I decided, let's just learn to draw furries at 2 a.m. on the couch, surrounded by fans, waiting for myself to get like exhausted enough to just pass out in the earplugs, because otherwise I just couldn't fall asleep. A lot of these I think are studies from other artists. Yeah, this one says Pinterest redraw. I wish I knew the names of the artists. Yeah, but Pinterest never gives you credits, I guess. This is May from Night in the Woods. Yeah, that's the game. Anatomically, proportionally not doing good, but it's fine. This is Greg from the same game. This is again May. And here I thought I will draw like a proper bigger sketch, and I did not. Some more furry stuff. This sketch is horrible. It's cracked. However, the artwork that came out of it I love it. It's like one of my favorite things that I've done. This wolf is like Vessel from Sleep Token, except a wolf. Because I think somebody on Tumblr was joking or theorizing about them getting into like a wolf aesthetic and using like wolf imagery in the lyrics and such. And I was like, yeah, let's just draw them as furries. Here I was doing some drawings. I think they're from Imagination. Was a Tombow Fudonosuke pen that I really grew to love a lot. I don't know how to comment this. It's whatever. Here I was trying to figure out how to draw goats, because every time I try to draw a goat, it will not turn out. But I came to this and I love it. I want to make more illustrations with this type of goat, with this anatomy and such. This was, I think, it was either a ceramic figurine or a plushie, a picture of that on Pinterest, and I just drew it, like freehanded it, and I really love how it turned out. Like the lines and the dynamics, there is like a feel to it that I really love. This is bits of my kitchen, furry hands. These are my plants. Again, bits from the kitchen. I decided to leave this page as is because it gave off such a nice like empty vibe, but empty as in like there is something more to it that you can't see. Like I really like this page as just a capture of that moment when I was drawing this. I think at the time I was thinking a lot about stylization and how I don't do it enough, and that's why I hate these. I don't like these either, but that's the journey. Sometimes you hate what you're drawing, and it's fine. This is interesting. All of these are from reference, by the way. I was trying to figure out how to draw chibis. I still don't know. I think this was after a while of not drawing, maybe. Oh no, this was the next day. I don't know. Yeah, I like this Pop Mart figurine reference drawing. This was when I decided I need to brush up on my anatomy knowledge, apparently. This is Hannibal, or rather the actor who plays him. What is it? Mads Mikkelsen. Oh, and here I said, someone please give me my patience back, because I get into this like scribbling sometimes instead of calculating where the lines are going to go and such, and it's frustrating because nothing comes out and I'm too fast, like for no reason at all. A study, figuring out how to draw chibis, doing better, referencing a lot of Pinterest, and also the way an artist that goes by the name I cannot pronounce. I'll put it on the screen. Like one of my favorite artists of all time, and I really love the way she draws chibis. So I was trying to study them and apply to my own character. This is Atlas. Naruto chibis, because why not? Here I thought my life has changed. I will be doing observational drawings every day with pen. Did I do it? No. I mean, I started off strong. I really like this page. This is like a bit of my desk. I like the shading here. I like the like dynamics and everything. I was also trying to figure out a pose for like a ghost that is sleepy, and I just couldn't. Here I went in with the pen and drew a bit of like my hand on the sketchbook and my mug. And I went back with a fountain pen that I was trying to revive that was writing with diluted red ink. I really like this. I don't know. A character I made up who is like a goat, but furry. Let's move on. These are my friends that I was drawing from life at a party. I think this turned out pretty good for my first time drawing people IRL while they were moving, and it wasn't like I positioned them as I wanted. They were constantly moving, so I'm pretty pleased. Here is Chaos, somebody draws from Pinterest, and then I decided that I wanted to make a New Year's card for my friends with like snakes, because the 2025 is the year of the snake. And I was like, well, I have no idea how to draw snakes. Let's learn. So I was studying snakes. And that got me into a whole new world. And now snakes are like one of my main special interests. And I love snakes. I think they're great. Just more some perspective stuff. Brushing up on cubes for some reason. Green 3 Python studies. Hognose snake. Drawing from life at a different party. Not as successful as the previous one. I'm very conflicted on this. I do like this though. I don't know. Sometimes this is like a very realistic sketchbook, because sometimes you get very cool pages and then sometimes you get this and you're like, wow, I don't know how to draw anymore apparently, so that's great. Here I was trying to revive the pen. It was like dried out, but then I put in a new ink and I washed it with some water, and it was coming out with this red ink forever until it stopped completely. And long story short, I put it down, and a month later I revived it again, and now it works. A study while I was waiting for it to get like soaked with water or something, I guess. I really like this actually. I think the shadows are quite like not dynamic, but the contrast is good. I mean, it looks much better in real life than it does on my phone's camera, but alas. These were actually in a video that's on my channel. These just throwaway sketches. Like, a lot of the sketches are just throwaway sketches. And this is my problem with the sketchbook, is that there are so many pages where I was just struggling for no reason. And after this, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna draw some bugs. And I did. And I love this little guy. Yeah, I have like a draw with me video where I draw. Picking up Fudonosuke again and doing some figure studies. At this point, I think I was just thinking like, oh, I kind of want to finish the sketchbook already. This page, I wish every page in my sketchbook was like this, but the reality is cruel. Just like a girl from Pinterest and frogs. Or they're not frogs. They're not. They're toads. Boop. Here we traveled to my partner's state, which is South Carolina, for Christmas, and it was 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I was trying to draw my character or figure out his design. I really like this. This kind of captures the essence, but these two are horrible. This was from life, I think. We were just sitting at the dining table. These are from life because we were hanging out with our friends, and then they were playing golf the next day, and I was trying to capture movement and stuff. There were geese, so that's cool. And I touched moss. I wasn't playing golf. I was just like walking around and looking at the nature, and it was great. Then we came back home, and I was like, okay, I need to actually make the New Year's card because it's December 30th. So I got to drawing snakes, and yeah, shortly after, in like 10 days, the card was done. I took way longer than I should have because I just like procrastinated for a very long time. This was January. It feels like it was yesterday because I was editing this video fairly recently. So my memories of this are very strong. Yeah, the video for this came out like 3 days ago, as of right now, as of me filming this. This studies, whatever. The hands are nice. I really like this hand. Like, I kind of stylized it. I pulled the fingers, made them a bit longer, a bit more like rounded. I really like this. But then the next day I was doing plant studies and it was horrible. It did not go well. If you want to know my thoughts, watch my video. And then that same week I was doing some studies, or just figure studies, trying to remember how to draw on paper, because prior to that I spent a very long time working on the snakes card for the new year, as I've mentioned, and I was exclusively drawing on my iPad, for like 7 days. It doesn't seem like a lot, but then when it comes to art and daily practice, it's like the drastic period of time to not be touching paper. Touch paper for me at this point is the same as like touch grass. But yeah, this one I hated, and it was in pencil, but then I came back with the Fudonosuke and I outlined it. It didn't make it much better. And then I picked up a pen and did these, which I liked. I mean, these two I really like. I think this one is very good. And then that happened. And then here I was doing 2 and 3 value studies of paintings because Proco released a video about this, and they gave like a file with several paintings to study from, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it was interesting. Like, I thought it would just be painful, but it was also very insightful. This page I really like. I was really coming back to paper, but now my sketchbook is at an end and I don't have a new one and I don't know what to do with myself. But this and this are the same OC as this. Again, the design is not designing, the likeness is not likening, well, maybe this. But yeah, but I was really happy with how this turned out, even though there isn't much likeness. And this was from, the pose was from a reference. But then the reference was Nike. So I dressed him in a suit and it kind of worked. I don't know. I really like this. This I redrew like 500 times and I hated it, and then I stuck a piece of paper on top and drew over it. Chibi struggles, I guess. A study with the Fudenosuke pen again. I really love doing that with that pen. At first I couldn't really understand it because I was trying to take advantage of the like brush nib, like changing the thickness and such, but then I realized I don't have to. I can just use it as a regular pen, but because there is still a bit of give in the thickness, it makes the lines so much more dynamic and gives you that space to use it just occasionally, like not on every single line making your drawing like lumpy and expressive, but instead like just in little areas where you need it most. And I really like doing these like streaks here on the hands where there's like a little pit at your elbow. Like I don't know what it's called anatomically, but I don't know, I just think it adds that just a little bit of suggestion of what's happening within the outline of the form. As Tom Fox says in his wonderful book, indicate, don't state. So I kind of indicated that. And then with the hand again, it's like indicated and not stated. And it's such a like, it looks good, it looks confident, but in reality I did that because I knew that pulling off an entire hand probably wouldn't work because hands are still very tricky for me. So I just kind of indicated what's happening there, and the hand is not the most important part of this like figure of this drawing, so it doesn't even like matter. So yeah, for cowards, sometimes you can play it safe and make it look like you are confident in what you're doing. Although, to be fair, I was confident in doing these lines, just not the entire hand. Like, I was confident that this approach would work and that I could pull it off and make it like very gestural. I mean, I also don't think I can judge how well it turned out because I'm biased, but snake doodles. Pikmins. I have never played Pikmin, but I love these dudes. And this one was just from reference, but these ones were from imagination, and I love this one and this one. I kind of want to make stickers out of them. These are studies with I think some of them are with Preppy EF pen that I revived, and then some of them are with Uniball Signo that is also pretty thin. Kind of like how this one turned out. This one is interesting, but I struggle with cats a lot, by the way. This frog is a disgrace. Figure studies, and after I drew this I realized it wasn't, like I didn't push it enough, and this drawing is much more dynamic. Like I did it afterwards to kind of see my mistakes and see where I could have constructed it differently to make it work better and closer to what I saw in the reference. I also watched Tangled to take some screen grabs for the painting I'm working on currently, and I drew that. Don't like how it turned out. I think this pen is too thin for me. I think Uniball 1 in the size 05 works best for studies and sketches for me because, like, I don't know, it's just, it's too thin for comfort. Yeah. And that's the last of it. Study from a girl from Pinterest. There was actually a picture from the website that's selling like the shirt that she was wearing, but I thought the pose was interesting. I like how the hands turned out, but I didn't, far from nailing it. And then at that point, I could fill this page in as well, but I was so done that I just did some like derpy snake doodles and wrote that it's finished in January 2025. And that's it. And on the other side here is some printouts of Nicholas Cole's illustrations because I really like his style for the simplicity and shape design. Like I really aspire to that. And that's it. That's the history of 1 year of my life. If you watched till the end, what is wrong with you? With all due respect. I'm joking. What I want to say is thank you, regardless of whether you watched to the end or not. I hope you enjoyed. I hope some of the drawings were, I don't know, cool or something, like you liked them or whatever, or maybe some of the stuff inspired you to go and draw your own stuff or made you feel good about yourself because you draw better than me, I totally accept. As long as my videos make people happy in one way or another, I am very satisfied with what I'm doing here on youtube.com. And yeah, hopefully see you sooner than in a year in another sketchbook tour that will be better and more up my standards. Hope you have a good day wherever, whenever you're watching this. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.